Hello, hello, my lovely Piscean brothers and sisters out there. Welcome to Creators on the Crest. I'm Stephanie. That outside is the lawnmower. We have a little bit of background noise, but the windows are open. It's otherwise a fine day. Blazer the Morkie is in the other room with family members, but I'm here with your May monthly predictions reading. Today we're going to pull your overall energy, Pisces, and then we're going to look into the energies through the perspective of the Celtic cross spread. Then we'll close it off with a special message for the Piscean collective. Do keep in mind that these are general readings, and also the energy of predictions is in the potential energies. So take only what resonates for you and leave the rest. Be sure to stay tuned at the end of the video where I will reveal all the wonderful ways you can benefit from the Creators on the Crest Tarot community here on YouTube. And also, happy birthday to all of our Taurus brothers and sisters. We are celebrating them for the month of May and wishing them a very happy birthday. Okay, let's go Pisces. We're going to pull you a card for your overall energy from the Starry Beginnings Oracle. Ooh, Pisces. Woo, I got shingles. I got tingles and chills because you got number 5. You are being called into service. Believe in your own guidance. You're being called, Pisces. A call is going out to you in the month of May. This looks like a star nursery to me. Something is being born here, birthed here. Believe in yourself. I love the colors there. Look how beautiful and brilliant it is. All right, so you're being called into service. Sometimes when we're being called into alignment with being in service the way we're meant to, in alignment with our mission and our purpose, can be a little bit challenging because some things have to fall out of our life that don't support that. But let's see what happens. I see a little bit of that may be happening in May, but we have to look at that as a good thing because you want to be free to be in the energies that will assist you, right? And bring out the best version of you. In your current energies, feeling clear, feeling confident, King of Swords energy here. This is a determined masculine energy. This is someone who has their thoughts together. Now, you're an emotional sign, Pisces, but I like this. You're really looking at things, you're discerning things. You're not getting too high up in the clouds with everything here. I think that's a challenge for you quite naturally, but you're really clear in your mental space, which is nice. We've got the owl here and other winged creatures. We've got a lot of wisdom of both the light and the dark. We've got the bat and the raven and the owl. Lots of feathers going on here. In your challenge position, you got the Knight of Cups. Romance may not be 100% available or your focus for the month of May. Maybe someone that you would like to come toward you is not coming toward you, or maybe you're refraining from going towards someone else because you're focused on you. You're focused on your purpose. You're focused on being in service. In your needed focus area, you got the 5 of Pentacles. This is a bit more time by yourself. It's kind of locking yourself away for a little bit to maybe support the clarity of mind that you're feeling. Maybe someone's interference or emotional manipulation gets in your way at times and you have a hard time understanding how to stay present with yourself and what you're being called to with that interference. But we're going to have to clarify because that's really, really interesting energy. We have the Knight of Pentacles coming up here in the past position. This represents to me, actually, I'm not getting a person here. I'm getting that it may have felt to you like Pisces, the constant competition of keeping the lawn mowed in the springtime. That's what we deal with the outside noises. But yes, back to this Knight of Pentacles in your past. I feel like it felt to you like things were moving really slow these past 5 to 6 months or so. But I do want to remind you here, you can see the pentacles being laid out. I think some groundwork was being set for you to be open and receptive to what you're being called to, and to trust your own inner guidance system here. Now look what comes up in the future here, Pisces. The Empress energy. I feel like this is very connected to your natural energy. This is where things start to come to life. So not only are you called into service, but you begin to manifest. This begins to come into your reality. Some of you may also, if you want to get pregnant, it's a good fertile month for you. So keep that in mind if that's your path at this time. In your place of embodied empowerment, you get the Justice card. Beautiful, beautiful. I think the month of May, because you are hearing this call of how you can be in service in the world, and it aligns with your inner guidance, you're just feeling good. This is Libra energy. Some of you may have predominant Libra energy in your chart. That is important for you to understand, and you may want to look into that. For others of you, it could represent Libra season being important this year, or something significant along the lines of your purpose happening at that time. So look ahead on the calendar to that time frame. In your place of support and allies, you get the Seven of Wands. This is about having healthy boundaries, Pisces. This is about having healthy boundaries. And with that challenge position, this being somebody trying to come toward you, or maybe you going towards someone else, it kind of feels good that that's on pause, because the focus may need to be somewhere else right now. If you're in a relationship or partnership, it may be a month to have some really clear communication about what you're trying to accomplish or what they need to accomplish, so the two of you can be on the same page, and knowing that you are doing very important things for yourself. They may be doing important things for themselves, and the two of you can come back together. Looking at your environment, you got the Three of Wands. This is future forecasting here. This is you looking ahead to the way you would like things to be. Not only are you planning, but you've heard the call and you're getting ready to move. Some of you may be moving. I'm sensing a change in states. Some of you may be moving to another state, another environment. Some of you may be taking a trip in the month of May that's important to you. And you're definitely excited about this. It feels like a nice energy, a fired up kind of energy. In your hopes and dreams, you get the Judgment card. There is some desire that you have subconsciously to release something that's held you back in the past. Maybe it's connected to your own karmic energies. If you're carrying, and I'm getting itchy all of a sudden, if you're carrying any guilt from the past, it would be a really good month for you to work on lightening that load and burden, because the potential outcome is the Ten of Wands. Like I said, some of you have been moving. There may be issues with moving. It might feel a little heavy. Maybe you're grieving, leaving behind people or a place. But the guilt energy and the grief energy is really heavy energy. So the more you can do throughout the month to release that, the better. And that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping that this month doesn't feel as heavy as maybe previous months have. Now, I tend to say that it won't, because you're aligning more to your purpose. You're listening more to yourself. You're being called to communicate with confidence and clarity, and you've set a path so far that is working out. Let's look at this King of Swords here. Yes, you get the Queen of Swords and the Two of Swords, and I'm definitely feeling something bubble up from the heart. You and your partner, we have a power couple here, King and Queen of Swords, may have had a disagreement or an argument that has you quite confused, or you feel like the needs of another interfere with your own needs. There's some sort of communication breakdown here that I'm seeing. Or maybe there's more of a strategy where you want to be more clear about something internally before you communicate it to your partner or someone else, someone close to you, someone that you have a soul connection with. So that's looking a little tricky, but the Two of Swords is usually a passing energy. What I would recommend here is when we look at this card, she's crossing her heart. If you can kind of open up the heart space Open it up first to yourself and then to the other person to the best of your abilities. Even if there's been a disagreement or a communication breakdown, you will find the clarity, but your heart has to be on board for it. That's what's most important. I do feel like, though, you're not up in the clouds about it. Maybe there has been some clarification that's come to you about a relationship that you're in that wasn't clear to you before, or that you were too emotionally wrapped up in to recognize it before. For that Knight of Cups, you get the Page of Swords and the Ten of Cups. Did you, Pisces, and someone else maybe try to rush things a little bit? And it ended up kind of taking it back a step. Or maybe some of you agreed to have a little bit of a break from somebody. Some of you may have found out something online about somebody, and your idea of who they were and what they could be changed because of that. Maybe you perceived someone to be more romantically and charmingly debonair and focused than they actually are. For some of you, I feel like May is the month you see through things. You kind of cut through things and you see. Others of you, I want to say to you, because I know you're a very emotional creature. I'm a Cancerian, and so I'm a fellow water sign, and I think some of you have the tendency to overgive and be too generous with the benefit of the doubt. And the month of May, you've become wise to some situation. Like I said, I don't feel like you have your head in the clouds, like you might have the tendency to get into that fantasy world about things and tell a really good creative story when it may not be real. I think you're actually in the real energies. If anyone's making you feel like you're crazy about something, you're not. The mental energies here are very clear. And if you're having trouble communicating with someone and it always goes south when you try, it's because they're hiding something and you are figuring that out. But you're doing so with your mind being balanced. You're not doing so from a place of just, oh, I'm just, they should be this and they're not. You're actually grounded in your mental space, which is nice to see here. But somebody's not all that they've been showing up to be. For those of you who may be in a relationship and you're just kind of having trouble communicating, maybe that's why you're just going to give it some time. Let each of you do your own thing and then come back together. That may be a little cooling off period. It doesn't have to be a break or separation, but it could be just a little cooling off period. For others of you, Pisces, however, depending on your blueprints, it's something more like, oh, this person is not who I thought they were. Yeah, the universe really has you working on some things in May here in your needed focus. For the Five of Pentacles, you got the Eight of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. There is this lack, poverty mentality energy that maybe you've been dealing with for quite some time. Maybe it's Maybelline. Rightfully so. You have been a bit more close to the vest on money, or money's been a little more tight lately for you. And maybe that has you down a little bit. I think some of you have judged yourselves pretty harshly here with the Eight of Swords, and maybe even sabotaged yourself a little bit in this situation. There's this feeling that you're grinding a little too hard on yourself. So I think some of you need to come back to the heart of the matter with this and really work on figuring out, and you're good with the subconscious, right? You're good with those Neptunian energies, getting into the subconscious, really figure out what's going on underneath the surface for you. Because with this beautiful clarity that I see for you for May, it would be a really good time for you to solve a subconscious puzzle for yourself here. So Pisces, this is very interesting energy, and the universe is like, yeah, we got to work on this. We got to work on this. Please focus on this. And maybe that's why in a relationship or with someone who's approaching you, you're kind of staying at a distance because you want to figure that out first. Because when you figure that out and clear that out, it'll bring you into a much more clear focus, a place of balanced wisdom that maybe you don't feel that fully heading into the month. Let's look at this Knight of Pentacles for the road that you've laid down before. So you get the Page of Cups and the Tower. In the past, Pisces, you've had the tendency to overgive of yourself and things come crashing down. What's beautiful about what I'm seeing in your past here is that you're learning a very important lesson of laying a solid path down for yourself, laying a certain foundation. You have a beautiful horse here supporting you in the energies. The pentacles are gorgeous colors. They're being laid out as the knight. Also, maybe taking a little bit of a pivot, a little bit of a shift off the direction that he was going, because there might be something important there. I think that the days and times of Pisces just giving themselves until they feel completely broken down or emptied is over, because this is energy that's being left in the past. Yet at the same time, there are really positive lessons coming out of this. And this also, to me, because some of you are being called into a service role, it's going to be your experiences, your past experiences, the ones that have shaped who you are moving forward, that you may want to vulnerably share with others. You may be helping people with different situations that you went through in the past. So that's also being presented here. You know, since I do see that you have the tendency to grind on yourself a little bit mentally, I think it's important to recognize just how strong you are from navigating those past circumstances there. Let's look at this Empress coming up in the future. This is a much more receptive energy. May not feel quite comfortable to you at first. You may not be used to getting what your heart desires, but what happens is the more that you are honest with yourself about aligning with your purpose and what you're meant to do here, and following your own internal guidance and allowing the universe to send things to you that you desire, the conflict of the Five of Swords, this is a place where it's like, is this too good to be true? What's happening here? You know, this is kind of that energy you might get into. Is this, can I trust this energy? But the Sun comes through and says, yes, it's your time, and I'm going to outshine any worry that you have. So because this comes up in the future position, this bit of conflict here, and I think it's internal conflict for you. I don't think it necessarily has the potential with the Sun and the Empress here to affect your relationships. I think it's a little bit of an eclipse inside yourself, a little bit of inner conflict that needs to be worked out here. But I honestly see you stepping into so much more joy because you're more in alignment with what you're called to do, with your natural inherent gifts, talents, and abilities. And once you're aligned with that and you're really trusting that, it's just such a powerful feeling, and it allows you the momentum to move forward. Let's look at the Justice card in your place of embodied empowerment here. The Lovers in the World. And I'm definitely getting that relationships will balance out as a result of this, meaning also that the ones that are not going to support you in your service and are not going to support you in what you're guided to do moving forward are going to fall away with that World card. This is a big month for you to step into a place of empowerment here. And for some of you, it's going to be about leveling up in who you choose to be in relationship with this Lovers coming up. You're going to need, for the way you're going to be in service, Pisces, you're going to need someone strong standing by your side. And if you're having any doubts about that, it's time to get really honest with yourself about it and bring those older cycles to an end. Okay, for others of you, it's happening more naturally. Okay, it just kind of happens naturally. But for some of you, it really is about you stepping into your power. Cards are already falling out for your allies and your support here. For the Seven of Wands, the place where you have those good boundaries with people, you are really increasing and leveling up your relationships. But it is about, and you know this now, healthy boundaries. And so the wheels of change here, the wheel of fortune, is looking very good for you to really have what I feel is like a fresh start. It's like a new Pisces, a fresh start. We've got good boundaries coming in here. I feel like some of you on your birthday, something shifted for you. On your last birthday, something shifted for you. Something clicked. Something changed. And you changed the direction of this wheel toward having healthy boundaries, and therefore, as a result of that, healthy relationships. So there's that leveling up potential that I think is really going to be felt for you in the month of May. Let's look at this Three of Wands in your environment here. Ooh, nice. The Four of Wands and the 10. The Four of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles for the Three of Wands. So look at you go. It's so nice when you're doing the inner work to recognize that happening in the external world. So you're doing the inner work, you're making your plan, you're starting to move forward, and something comes into stability for you. You move from the 3 to the 4. This is like a wish come true, a dream come true. This showing up in your environment means that it's actually going to be physically present with you. And you have also the 10 of Pentacles, which is a really good feeling in the home space or in your relationships or all of the above. So this is really interesting energy. This is progress for you. And you're going to be able to look at what's going on around you, look at what's happening outside of yourself, because you are so clear on the inside. And then you're like, oh, now this is going this way and it feels really good. And then you're like, I can trust myself. I can believe in my own inner guidance here. And then that's just going to be an energy that builds and builds and builds for you, Pisces. Let's look at this Judgment card. What can we release here? A little grief, a little guilt. In your hopes and fears, you're hoping to release something for sure, or surrender to something. Maybe it is your higher wisdom. You got the Knight of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Yeah, this is a surrendering into really giving yourself only to your purpose and to the universe's highest aspects and potentials for you. You're very, very passionate about what you do and the experiences you've had. You're very, very smart about filling your own cup first, which I think is a really important energy. And sorry if I had that too far up. I'm feeling your energy. I'm like, I just want to punch it home here. In your hopes and fears, I honestly see you releasing fear and feeling a lot better for it here. And it's because you are so passionate to move forward into your purpose, into your desires, into what the universe has next for you. You're definitely moving on the path. You're definitely moving on the path. I do not see you stalled out. Some of you may have been leading up to the month of May, but for May, I see you moving. Let's look at this 10 of Wands, because this is a bit of a burden or a little bit of a journey here. The Fool, and there's that 7 of Wands again, talking back to your support and allies. I think it's important, Pisces, for you to lean into a little bit of support for the month of May. I think it's important for you, Pisces, to lean into some support for the month of May, knowing that you have good boundaries in place. So we have the 7 of Wands and the potential outcome. That's boundaries. That's the high ground, having a real good perspective on things. And you have the Fool, which is an energy of freedom and being carefree. If you're newer to setting boundaries and you're newer to focusing on yourself, this could feel a little weird at first. You could feel like, oh, well, I'm kicking someone out, I'm leaving them behind, I'm sending them on their way. And that may be the case, but maybe it's time for the cycle or relationship with that person to end. Maybe there's been challenge all along the way, and that is being released so that this new energy of the Fool can come into play, and you can step off and see how this goes. Now, for others of you, you may actually try to launch something or begin something, or you just feel like it's almost impossible to do so. Some of you are like, but that's big, that's heavy, that's big. How am I going to do that? Well, you're going to do it through knowing that you have healthy boundaries in place, knowing that you have the high ground, and you have a vantage point that makes you particularly qualified to do what you're doing, because you see the path from the past, you see the path going forward, and you know where you're at on that path. Just be honest with yourself, love on yourself, release some of that guilt and grief, Pisces, and I think you're going to be okay. It can be a little much at first when you're making this kind of a change or this kind of a shift, but I see you doing a nice job of that, and you having the energies that are balanced enough to do it in the month of May. Let's pull a card from the Angel Dreams Oracle to close off your May monthly energies. You got school, lessons. Yes, there's something, Pisces, about what you've learned on your path so far that is so important for you to share with others. Because you are being called into service and you are choosing to trust your own inner guidance, that may be sharing some of the most important lessons of your life with others. Some of you may be creating a YouTube channel or creating a course of some kind where you're going to teach others about what you've learned and have them interact with you about it. Maybe the burden of that 10 of Wands is because that feels like a heavy responsibility. Oh no, I'm at the front of the class. I'm the teacher. I'm the professor, and now I have responsibility for this information that's going out. And yes, that's true. But the universe is here saying, you got this. Your boundaries are here saying, you got this. Your friends are here saying, you got this. The ones that respect your boundaries, right? Move forward with this energy. Thank you for sticking around, because I want to tell you about all the wonderful ways you can stay engaged in the creators community. First and foremost, please like, share, subscribe, invite a friend to the channel. Be sure to check out the description below where I have all of the important links and also a little summary of the reading that you've just been given. So be sure to check that out. Link for a personal reading is there as well. You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Creators on the Crest. I do run the occasional special on Instagram and Facebook stories, so keep an eye out there. If you're tight on cash but you still want to get a reading, check that out. You can also come on to my Sunday night Q&As and get a little mini reading. So it's every other Sunday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the next one is on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And you come into the live chat, you get comfortable, you say hi to everybody and drop your question in or ask for the highest and best message. It's a really supportive, high vibe community, and we're really enjoying having new people come in. So if you haven't checked that out before, be sure to check it out. We would love to welcome you into the Creators Tribe there. I'm also here live on the channel every Friday from 10 a.m. to noon Central. And I do collective readings. I do breakout readings. We talk astrology. We talk numerology. We talk very interesting themes. Sometimes I let the creators community pick the themes or vote on the themes. So be sure to stay engaged with the channel. Hit that notification bell to be reminded of all the good things that are happening. And Pisces, thank you so much for allowing me to read the energies for you. I look forward to seeing you next time.